have a very serious advice for people. Okay, you know how people tell you that, oh, hi everyone, Irene here, and welcome back to my channel. And so today I have decided to share with you the costs that is involved in studying abroad. So right from starting your journey to transitioning here to living here and so on. And so I hope that at the end of the day we can learn something from this. I'm going to say that honestly speaking, you don't God would provide for you at every point of the way. And so don't feel discouraged that I want to start and I don't have money, I don't know what to do, I don't even have anyone to help me, and so I'm not going to do this. If you do that, you're going to do yourself a disservice. Start somewhere and God will provide for you at every point of the way. So let's move right into it. So the first type of cost that is involved in studying abroad would be the application fee. So if you decide to start, in order for you to submit your application for the university to consider you for admission, you will need to pay to the graduate school for turning in your application, and this differs by university to university. And so I recommend that you check with your university and know how much the application fee is and how you can pay for that. And so most application fees are, if you are coming into the US, are in US dollars, and so you might need to have some kind of debit card that is accepted to be able to make the payment. So if you know somebody here, you can let the person make the payment on your behalf. So there's that kind of cost involved. And so I believe that there are ways in which you can get the application fee waived. When I say waived, I mean they can sometimes say, oh, you don't need to pay for it. And the first way in which you can get your application fee waived is through an application fee waiver. And an application fee waiver is usually a code that the university gives to everyone who wants to apply to their university, so that when it comes to checking out and paying for the application, you don't pay for it. So there's the application fee waiver, and there are ways in which you can obtain this application fee waiver. And so if the university is organizing a webinar or any kind of event online and you register to go, they can share the application fee with you. So that way you don't have to pay for it. They just share the application fee with you because you registered for the webinar. If there is no webinar going on, you can simply go forward and ask the graduate school. Again, communication, again, keeping in touch and emailing. So ask the graduate school if there's an application waiver code that they can share with you, and if they do have, they would share that with you. If they don't, they would ask you to pay out of pocket. So it's either you pay out of pocket or it's either you have an application waiver or any kind of permission from the graduate school to not to pay that. And so that there's that cost involved, and so application fees. So take note of that. Okay, so you've got, this is what is involved. So the next type of fee that is involved is paying for your visa and immigration fees. So in order for you to go to the US embassy to be interviewed to come into the US, you need to pay a visa fee, and the visa fee varies by visa categories. So if you are coming into the US as a student, you're going to be on the F status. So F means student, and this can be F1, F2, and F1 means you, the applicant yourself, and F2 means maybe your spouse that you're coming in with. But again, you'd have to pay for the visa fee. And if you're in Ghana, you can do that at the GT Bank, any GT Bank in Ghana. Go there and pay. And I think during my time, I paid $160 for that visa interview fee. That fee that is also involved, and so please do that. So yeah, there's that cost involved. So now you've paid for that, you're almost scheduled for your interview, and you're going for your interview. Another type of cost that's involved is the immigration fees. So here it's called the CVIS fee for international students, and the CVIS fee is paid to the United States Homeland Security Department to let them know that you're coming into the US to study. And when you check onto your form I-20 that your university will give you once you are offered admission, there's this unique number on it called the CVIS ID, and this ID is like a personal number that the US government would identify you with and know that you are here legally in the United States. And so when you pay the CVIS fee, you have approved to come into the US to study. And this CVIS fee is usually valid for a year. If you pay it this year and let's say you don't get the visa, you are still eligible to use the same CVIS ID and CVIS number until the next year that is expired. So if it expires, you have to pay another fee. So hopefully everyone will get their visa and they will not have to pay again for CVIS fee. So there is the CVIS fee that you have to pay. And then the other kind of cost that's involved is your personal, I call it like the personal expenses. That's more or less like you're paying for your ticket, your air ticket, and other things that you might need. So other things that you might need in terms of your clothing, your luggage, other things that you're bringing into the US. So that's when you bring all the food, the Ghanaian food, you know how we do it, you bring it into the US. So there's that kind of cost that is also involved, and I feel like there's no specific amount when it comes to that. That's more or less like you spending money according to your discretion and according to the money that you have. And so buying your clothes and shoes and everything, like everything that you're going to need when you come into the US. I have a very serious advice for people, okay? You know how people tell you that, oh, don't come with your clothes, leave everything. When you come here, you see nice things, you buy nice things, you'd buy all the things that you want. So don't come, pack light. See, don't fall for that pack light trap. And I'm saying this because I'm not saying pack heavy and bring all your belongings, but there's a reason why I'm saying that. You know, like when you come into the US, especially if you're a teaching assistant and you don't have enough money and you haven't started receiving your salary or your stipend yet, you can't buy all those things that the people are telling you that you're going to be buying in the first month. So bring your clothes. If you have any nice clothes, nice shoes, see anything that you have that you feel like will make your life easier, bring it. Don't leave it back home and say that, oh, I'm coming here, I'll buy all the nice things. By that time that you want to buy all the nice things, you've not started getting money. I'm going to make a separate video to address and talk about that kind of thing. But again, don't leave all your clothes and say you're coming to buy them in the US. You will have money to buy them later, but please come with a few that you might need in the first 2-3 months. That way you don't feel like you just came with the little things and you can't buy what you want and things like that. So I'm going to talk more about that when it comes to buying clothes and things like that when you come into the US. So let's hold on to that. Moving on. So yes, so more like a personal expenses type of thing that's more involved. And so buying your tickets, and again, sometimes depending on the times in which you come into the US, there's a spike in ticket prices. Tickets are expensive, especially when it's after the summer into the fall, because that's when most people are coming into the US, most people are traveling, and so there's a spike in air tickets and it's so expensive. I remember during my time when I was ready, when I got my visa, I started checking out tickets and it was so expensive, around $2,000. And so the timings in which you book your tickets is also dependent on how much you pay for it. And $2,000, please, how much is the dollar rate right now? Please do the conversion and let's know how much that was. So again, don't be scared as we have gotten to this point. Like at every point you would be able to get money to take care of certain things. If you don't get money, God will raise people to help you take care of some things. And once people know that you are on this journey and you are coming here, if somebody has help that they can give you genuinely, they would give you help. People will not be like, oh, I don't have, like, I mean, I don't want to go much into that, but there's help that comes along the way with this journey. So don't think that I won't be able to pay for it, especially now that you Google the dollar rates to CD rates and you're scared and you're getting scared. So don't worry about that. So yeah, there's the personal cost that's involved. Also, there's more like the tuition and fees that's involved. So if you're on a fully funded scholarship, you still have fees to pay. It doesn't mean that you are not paying anything. You still have some kind of fees to pay when it comes to using university facilities, which I talked about in my earlier video. If you've not watched that video, please pause, go and watch that video and come and tell me what I was talking about. Yeah, so paying for university fees, paying for health insurance and other fees, buying textbooks and stuff that you need concerning your education, so books and supplies. There's all those hidden costs that people don't talk about, but those things are very important to keep in mind, that as you're coming in, you're going to pay health insurance. And for me, I think that because my university did not state on my form I-20 that I was going to pay all those things, I came in thinking that, oh, at the end of the semester I don't owe anybody and things like that, but there was all these hidden costs that came up when I came in. And so please know this, that sometimes you might have some kind of cost that will come with coming in, and so have some money to take care of those things. Especially if you are waiting for your stipend to take care of those things, it might not be enough because the university fees are quite expensive, and also the health insurance and other things are also expensive. So know this and know and prepare for it. Okay, so the next thing that I think I should have talked about before talking about tuition and fees is housing. Housing can be very expensive depending on the state in which you're living in, and depending on what type of housing it is. So if you're living in the cities, there's a very high possibility that you'll be paying higher rents, but as compared to living in the rural areas and not so much in the big cities, like there is also the cost that comes with that. So housing determines how expensive your housing can be or how inexpensive it can be. So if you're living in rural areas, more urban areas, more expensive. So there is that. And also when it comes to housing, there is some cost that is not explicitly stated when it comes to the rates that you're paying for your rent. So let's say that there's water that you have to pay for, there's electricity that you have to pay for, there's trash that you have to pay for, there's internet and things like that that are not stated in the rent rate. So remember that all these costs may not be involved in the rent rate, and you'd have to pay those separately. So in general, I don't think that I can give like an average of how much rent or how much you can pay for rent depending on where you're going to and whether it's a city or a rural area. But I'm a very rural girl and I live in the southern part of Illinois, which is rural, and so as compared to living in the city, it's not so expensive and things like that. So there's that cost that is involved with coming here to study or living here and studying here. Again, I think that in general, there's also the kind of like, the miscellaneous type of costs. So like the cost involved with groceries and buying food and things like that. And recently there has been like a spike in, everybody's talking about the inflation, and so food has become very expensive. Sometimes I'm like, why do I have to pay so much money to eat to live? I mean, Jesus has already paid our debts for us, so why are we still paying very expensive buying food and groceries for for things like that. And so there's also that, there's transportation, which I believe that if you're living in a university, there's a bus system that kind of shuttle students to and fro to wherever they are going. Again, that's also factored into your university fees, because you're using these amenities and these things for free, but it's not free, they're charging you for it. So there's a cost of transportation and things like that. So I believe in general these are the costs that are involved. I don't think that you need to have a stash of money to start or to do this. If you believe in God, as I said earlier, your needs are going to be met or provided for at every point of the way. So don't feel like, oh, this is a lot, this is expensive, I don't have the money, how am I going to do it? Like, girl, if you start, you can have the money to take care of some things. And so don't be discouraged. This is just to keep you informed about the things and the realities that are involved in how you can, if you can save some money, or if you can speak to people who can help you do that, so that you don't feel stranded at any point of the way. And I think I'm going to say that if you start your journey and you find any kind of challenges or difficulties, don't forget to speak to your university, your program chair, or whoever you have been in contact with, to let the person know what the reality on the ground is. Sometimes if it's something associated to expenses and finances or things like that, if there's some scholarships or some ways in which you can have some things taken care of by the university, they'll let you know. So if you encounter any kind of challenge, please make sure that you're communicating with them and letting them know what the reality on the ground is. And so today, that's all that I have to share with you. I believe this has been very informative and helpful. My goal is to make sure that I make this experience for people who are interested in doing this very seamless, so they don't have to struggle with all the challenges that I struggled with. And so if you have any questions, any comments, any concerns that you feel like I can help, or I can provide you or point you out to some resources that can solve your problems, please don't keep it from me. Let me know, and you can send me your questions in the comment box, or just DM me on my social media, and I will attend to you. So today, that's all I have. And if you have not subscribed, please tell me why. If you haven't subscribed, please tell me why. And whilst you're telling me, please be clicking on the subscribe button down there and turn on the notifications, so that if I have anything to share, I will be able to share that with you. And I just want to say that you guys have been so amazing. I've seen all the likes, all the views, all the comments. Oh my God, you people are so amazing, and I can't wait to share everything that I want to share with you on this channel. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.